Hi, my name is Stephanie Agaton-Michaels, founder and CEO of the Stephanie Michaels Software Company. This one is a really great example of showing the workflow for very practical use cases. In particular, this video demonstrates product design in Univah Pro. Now, what we're going to do in this video, if you haven't seen the original video, you can go to my channel, just scroll through and you'll find this video, okay? But I'm using this one as an example to discuss AI and to kind of help you guys understand where we stand as a company on generative AI. Okay, so we started building Univah Pro in 2020, and that's when we started this company. We started writing the code for Univah around 2022. Okay, 2021, 2022. And so we started building the Univah Film Engine before the AI boom. We started building Univah before AI. So a lot of what you see AI trying to do, it's really because of us. It's because of what we're doing. It's because of what people see we're able to do. That's why a lot of people thought our software was AI. The reason for that is because we started building this thing and we started showing incredible work before AI came out. So before Midjourney, before all these things started coming out, Univah was here. And we started showing incredible work in 2022, 2023. And so that's important for you guys to know because while everybody else is trying to chase AI trends, we are the company that started this whole thing. It's because of us that you see AI doing a lot of the things that you see them trying to do. They watch our videos for inspiration so that they can know what to do. Okay? So they're coming to us watching our videos and they're saying, oh my God, how are they doing that? And then they go to AI and try to use AI to make their own version of it. Okay? So we're not trying to catch up to AI. AI is trying to catch up to us. It's important for you to understand that, to make that distinction. Okay? So that's why we can say with confidence we are better than AI. We've said this from the very beginning. We are a better than AI company. We have that philosophy because we saw very early on, before Midjourney, before Sora, before all these little tools that are coming out now, the Univah Film Engine was there. Okay? So one thing that we can all agree on, what are the things that we can all agree on? As creators, we can all agree that we want to be able to do things faster. I don't think there's anybody in the 3D community or on Earth that doesn't want their food to arrive faster. So when I order some Domino's pizza, if I have an option of having that pizza come in 20 minutes or in 1 hour, I'm going to choose 20 minutes. I want my food as fast as possible. Okay, if I order Uber Eats, I want my food to arrive here hopefully while it's still hot, not 2 hours later. Okay, so we can all agree that we want to be able to do things faster. Okay, now what else can we all agree on? We can also all agree that we want our 3D tools to be easier to learn, to be easier to use, to have a low learning curve. I think that's something we can all agree on, especially because right now we're seeing in the industry a lot of software fatigue. People are tired. You have industry professionals, they've been working in the industry for 20 plus years. They've had to learn Houdini, they've had to learn Maya, and learning Houdini took them like a year and a half. Learning Maya took them like a year and a half. Learning Cinema 4D took them like 6 to 8 months. Then they had to learn the Adobe suite. Then they had to learn, so you have to learn all these tools. Learning Unreal Engine took them like a year and a half. So you have all of these very complicated engineering focused tools that were really made by engineers and not by artists. And that's the problem. You've got a lot of these tools being made by engineers and not by artists. And so the workflow is always very complicated, very engineering looking, very difficult to learn. It's not the way a regular person thinks. It's not intuitive to the way a regular person who is not an engineer would think to do things. So essentially, they're forcing you to become coders. You have to learn how to code. You have to learn how to think like an engineer. The naming conventions are too engineering focused. So you have people saying things like Boolean, and a regular person has no idea what a Boolean is. Okay, so you have people saying things like something, something, blah, 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 solver, and a regular person doesn't know what that means. So the Univah Film Engine decided to be an artist-focused tool because it was made by an artist. Me. I'm an artist. I am a director. I work in film. I work in fashion. And I designed this tool for people that work as designers, as directors, people who are not engineers. Okay? So that's why the software is so approachable. So if we can all agree that we want to be able to do our work faster, and we can all agree also that we need software that has a lower learning curve, and we can all agree, the third thing that I think we can all agree on is that we want a software that has really great performance. I don't think there's anybody out there that wants a software that has bad performance. So we have now three things that we can all agree on. We can bicker and fight with each other all we want. You can be team AI, you can be team this, you can be team that. But on this, we can all agree. We can all agree we want to be able to do things faster. We want to be able to have a low learning curve. And we want our software, no matter which software it is, to have great performance, right? Okay, so we have some three universal things, concepts or philosophies that we can all agree on, okay? What else can we all agree on? We are looking for a faster way to animate. I think all of us are. All of us are looking for a faster, better way to animate. We want to be able to create 3D characters faster. I don't think anyone is going to reject a tool that makes it possible to be able to generate incredible, highly realistic, and even non-realistic 3D characters faster, right? So I think we can all agree on these philosophies, on these concepts, okay? So what's the problem? The problem is every day you have some new tool coming out. You have some new game engine coming out. People are tired. You have companies that are promising them the world and not delivering. So many companies promising you that they're the new generation, blah, blah, blah. This company comes out and they claim they're the future. That company comes out and they give you a bunch of pipe dreams that they'll never fulfill. And then that company from 20 years ago that's been around for 20 years, they'll tell you that they're the new future. They are the future of 3D, right? And they'll never deliver on any of these promises. And people are tired. There's a lot of fatigue right now in the industry. People are tired. Some people are just confused, okay? So there's a lot of gender dysphoria. People are just confused, okay? And some of you have no idea what career to even get into at this point, okay? Now, it's amazing because the Univah Film Engine, when we created this tool, because it came right before the AI boom, we have a gigantic advantage over every other 3D tool that exists. Because we are the only tool that's positioned to be not necessarily the competition for AI, but we are the only tool, and we've heard so many people tell us this, that we are really the only tool. Just the other day, I had a meeting with some people that, some guys from California that I was talking to about SIGGRAPH. And I was asking them if they want to come to SIGGRAPH, if they want to see us at SIGGRAPH, because SIGGRAPH is going to be in California this year. So I've been reaching out to some Californians, some guys that work in the CG community, they work in the CG industry, excuse me. And so, and almost all of them said the same thing when they saw Univah. They're like, man, if this tool had AI, this would be the best tool to use with AI. Almost everybody tells me this. Univah is the best tool to use with AI. And this is coming from the CG creators that have adopted AI, they use AI, and they're very happy with AI. Okay, they're not fighting against AI, they use it all the time. So Here's what I will say. In Univah, for instance, look at what you're seeing on the screen. Look at the ability to switch rendering styles with one click. You've been watching this video now for how many minutes? It's been a couple of minutes you've been watching this video. Look at the control that the Univah Film Engine gives you that no other software gives you. As simple as we make things look in Univah, Unreal Engine can't do this. Unreal Engine cannot do this. There's no software out there, no legacy DCC, that can do what we're showing you right now in the viewport. So this is this is where we tell people, you're talking about AI this and AI that, but there are significant limitations to AI. And Univah has already solved those problems. All the things that you're complaining about that AI doesn't give you, Univah has already solved that. And it's funny because we solved the problem before the problem even existed. Again, everything you're seeing here on the screen, this is what we had in 2021, 2022, before AI. We created this company in 2020 during COVID. We started writing this code in 2021. Everything that you're seeing, this ability to switch rendering styles, we did this first before anything you see AI doing right now. AI is just they're watching our videos, all these Mid-Journey, all these people, CDANs, whatever they call themselves. Okay, GPT-12, whatever version they're in now, they're all watching our videos to know what to do. They're following in our footsteps. We did all this stuff before they came out. so, so, and we're doing this without a giant server. They are expensive, okay? And the question you guys should be asking yourself is, if America is poor and we're in debt and America doesn't have money, then how do they have billions of dollars to throw into generative AI? Do you have any idea how expensive it is to run these servers, these giant AI servers? It's expensive. It's very expensive. And it's really not sustainable. So you've got to think long term. Over the next 20 years, are these generative AI people going to be able to sustain their giant servers? Are they going to make enough money to keep this going? Because Sora just shut down because they weren't making money. They just weren't making enough money to keep that going. So if it happens that most of these generative AI servers shut down, what are you going to do? You're going to have to come back now to the legacy DCC, and you're not going to want to. Okay, you're just not going to want to. There's no way that you're going to go from AI, which made life so easy for you, to coming back and wanting to learn something as difficult as Houdini. And that's what we're predicting. We're already seeing what's going to happen. We know there's going to be a crash at some point. We know that a lot of you are going to be disappointed, and you're going to have to come back to now learning the very things you said were obsolete, and you're not going to want to. You're going to want a tool that is positioned in the middle. You need something that bridges the gap between legacy DCC and their over complexities and what AI gives you. And that's going to be the Univah Film Engine. That's exactly where we fit. And it's funny because I didn't plan it this way. I wasn't trying to become the tool that saves everyone when AI crashes on you, okay? But it just so happened that that's just the way it worked out, okay? So you see what we're doing right now? We're switching rendering styles right in front of the client. We're able to do this. No software does this. And this is not AI. You know it's not AI because I didn't have to type a prompt in order for the rendering style to change. In AI, you would have to type a prompt if you want to see the same model in wireframe, and you're not really seeing the same model. But you see with Univah, no matter how many times I switch styles, it's happening instantly, number one. And number two, nothing is regenerating. We're not typing a prompt and saying, hey, regenerate the entire scene for me and I hope the fan stays the same. Because that's what happens with AI. With AI, you have to hope the fan stays the same. You have to hope that you get the same scene. With AI, it's random. You don't know what kind of seed you're going to get. You're always regenerating the entire scene. With Univah, it's not random. Nothing's regenerating. You're just mathematically changing the rendering style. That's why it's instant. That's why it's faster than AI. And that's why it's editable. You see how I'm able to edit this in real time. So it's a much faster workflow. We created this software because we know how 3D creators, how film directors, photographers, videographers, we know how they like to work. We don't want to sit and type all day. That's boring. We don't want to all become secretaries. I don't want to have to do Mavis Bacon and be typing 40 words a minute or whatever. I don't want to be typing all day. I just don't. That's just not how my mind works. I don't want to sit and type all day long. I want to be able to use my mouse, move it around. I want a gizmo. I want a 3D scene that I can move around in, like I'm doing right now. I want to have a real 3D scene. I want to be able to see my scene from every angle. I want to be able to place my lights and see the shadows immediately. I want to be able to use light linking, professional light linking, to choose which objects in the scene are affected by which light and which shadows. I want to be able to do that. I have to be able to do that. That's a professional workflow. And you know what? Univah gives me that. So we created everybody's dream tool. We've created everybody's dream tool. And what AI is doing, what these big AI companies are doing, and God forbid they ever admit this, but it's obvious because every time I make a video, what do you see? You go see somebody from Midjourney trying to copy the video. Every time I make a cool video in Univah, what do you see? You see somebody from Sora, somebody from Midjourney, some GPT person trying to recreate what you see us doing in Univah in their wonderful little AI tool. So they're not leading, they're just looking at what we do and then trying to recreate it with prompts. And then they'll go, and because they have more, because they're a bigger company and because they have more press, then they're going to go and they'll post some wonderful little article about, oh my God, AI is changing the world, blah, blah, blah. But really, they're coming here for inspiration, looking at our videos, seeing our incredible innovation. And they're like, how is she doing that? How are they doing that? Because no other tool does this. Go to Unreal Engine, go try. We've already done beta test videos. We've asked people in Unreal Engine, can you switch the entire rendering style with one click? No, you cannot. You have to create a volume, you have to create this, you have to create a node graph, you have to do a setup. You spend 1 hour setting things up before you can switch a rendering style. And then you have to buy a plugin. Oh, then you're gonna have to buy a plugin, okay, just to have a tune render. So in Univah, we don't believe in plugins. We put all the powerful features right inside of Univah, and we do it simply. Look at the UI. It's elegant, it's clean, it's modern, but not too modern. And it's beautiful. You can send this to your client right now. You can export 6K video, 8K video, instantly. Send it to the client immediately. So, and you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay per prompt. There's no prompting. Look at this. Easy. You want to see wireframe? Switch. You want to see sketch? Switch. You want it in realistic PBR? Switch. You want it in black and white? Add black and white. And then tweak the black and white to your liking. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the workflow of Univah Pro. This 3D model is just an FBX 3D model. You can import this 3D model. If you go to polyhaven.com, you can see this 3D model, which I got from polyhaven.com, of the fan. And you can import this fan into your 3D software. And notice how wonderful our viewport is. Is it just me, or is our viewport amazing? It's not grainy. It doesn't need to regenerate. It never has to recalculate. Our math, we have such excellent mathematics in this thing. It's incredible. Okay, it's so fast. Look how fast it is. It's so incredible. Look at our FPS. Our FPS is so wonderful. We're hitting over 60 FPS, over 100 FPS. With this fidelity, wow. Okay, so you're not getting this fidelity in Maya, are you? No, you're not. In order to see this kind of quality in Maya, you have to go to V-Ray. You're going to have to go to Arnold, okay? And in Arnold, when you're rendering in Arnold, it's not interactive. You click a render button, then you wait. You can't touch the scene. If you touch the scene, guess what happens? You have to start all over. It starts regenerating all over again. So when you're working in Maya, you don't get to work in the final quality. You just don't. You don't. Even if you have a V-Ray plugin that shows you the render in the viewport, every time you touch something, you have to regenerate the whole scene all over again. Okay? It's grainy all the time. And if you're working on a very big scene, good luck. It's going to be grainy forever. Okay. If you add a bunch of lights, it gets grainier. Okay. Because it has to calculate all these really complex area lights. But in Univah, we don't have that problem. You're seeing the final high fidelity in real time, no graininess, no recalculation. How are we doing this, you will ask? Well, I could tell you, but then I would have to kill you. Yes. So this software is really, it's very unique. It's very different. It's extremely ahead of what's in the industry right now. It's ahead of what AI is doing. It's ahead of what all legacy DCCs are doing. And that's why a lot of them are coming here. They're watching what we're doing, and then they're running to AI. They're running to Comfy UI, and they're trying to recreate what we're doing. But the problem is they don't have any consistency. They don't have any precision. They don't have any control over what they're doing. They can't even copyright their work. Yeah, that's another thing. Whenever you use AI to make your work, you can't copyright it. So anybody can just claim your work. But anybody can recopy your work, and there's nothing you can do to fight it because you use AI. So, um, and with AI, there's a high chance you're probably using someone's copyrighted work. So you've got to be careful. But again, we can all agree that we want some software out there that's going to be easy to learn. That's Univah. We can all agree that we want a software that has amazing graphics. That's Univah. We can all agree that we want a software that is very optimized, so you can render very large worlds, big scenes. That's Univah. We can all agree that we want a software that is easy to learn, easy learning curve. So we've created all these things. We've already answered and solved all these problems. And now it's just a matter of getting the word out there, you know, getting people to try the tool, getting people to use the tool, uh, try recreating the videos that you see in our channel. And when you see for yourself that using Univah Lite, you can do all these things, case closed. Now it's just a matter of you testing the tool, getting excited, and, you know, leave us some comments and let us know, hey, can we do this with Univah? Can we do that with Univah? That's great. Those are good questions. But again, don't ask me questions if you haven't watched our videos, okay? Because I'm not going to answer them. Because everything that you need to know about Univah, we've already answered it at some point. We've made so many videos. So it's up to you to do the work. Don't be lazy. Watch the videos. Learn about Univah. And then if you have questions, you can ask, okay? Alrighty. Thank you. Bye-bye.